If you're having trouble getting your doors to unlock electronically, as you can see, watch this, it's not fully engaging like it should, then this is the video for you. This is on a 2012 Kia Sedona, but this video is actually going to cover anything from 2006 all the way to 2014. And it may even, by principle, cover the vehicle that you're looking at. So in this video, we're going to replace the electronic piece, which means I'm going to show you how to take the door panel off. I'm going to show you how to take this door handle off. So if your door handle is broken, this video will apply to you. And I'm also going to show you how to remove this lock mechanism. If your physical lock mechanism is broken, you'll be able to replace it with this video as well. But the electronic piece is attached to the piece that holds this mechanical lock. So in the end, this is the piece that we need to replace for the electronic locks. You don't have to replace the whole assembly. You just have to replace this. There are 3 little screw covers. You'll see here, here, and here. There's a screw cover behind the door handle, and there's a screw cover down in the handle. Small flathead screwdriver. There's a little cutout point. Just open these up. Now on these, we just pry these out. So you just kind of get the edge of your screwdriver and you pry on them a little bit, and they actually come out. It's a really small little piece, so make sure you don't accidentally drop it on the ground in grass and lose it. We've got one up here. Okay, there's that one. And then we got this one down here. Alright, once we got all of our screw covers off, we got to pop this little guy off. There's a tab on the bottom, so you should be prying it from top to bottom. Now we remove our screws. And you want to keep everything oriented. This is a black covered one that's usually on the inside. Got one behind the door handle. One in this door pull area. And we got this one down here in the corner. Remember, keep your little rings on them. Then we're going to pull from the bottom of the door. Same thing on the left side. Alright, and then you're going to have to take this trim piece off of the door handle. It kind of pops loose when you do this whole thing, so it really makes it easier. You're just going to pull the door handle out a little bit, and it should slide right off. It doesn't matter if your window is up or down for this point, but when it gets to the point where we're actually pulling this part, we're going to have the window up. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws. Pop your bottom out, and it should just lift right off. Okay. And we're going to have a couple of connectors that we're going to have to remove. We're going to have 3 electrical connectors we're going to have to get off. This first one's pretty simple. It's just a squeeze, nothing complicated. Squeeze and pull. This one is a squeeze and pull. Okay, this one has a tab. You see this blue tab right here? You're going to actually have to pry that tab down, then you can squeeze and pull. So again, this one has the blue tab right here. You have to pull that out before you can squeeze, or you'll never get that out without breaking something. So in today's lesson of do what I say and not what I do, you want to have the window up before you take all the electronics off, because you'll have to plug it back in to get the window back up. All this black is tar. So since this is tar, I mean, you're going to get it on you. There's no way around it. So I would wear gloves because it's a pain to get off your hands. Goo Gone works really well for that. Goo Gone tears your skin up. All right, so the first thing we're going to do, this whole mechanism is what we're removing from here, this piece here, all the way up to here. So if you have a broken door handle, then this is the process to remove this. So we already had the screw from pulling the panel off. We have one screw here, and it simply slides back and comes off. So if you're replacing your door handle, all you have to do is take these and pull them out of this, and then remove them from here and put your new door handle on. Of course, we have all these wonderful little clips. It just never seems like there's an easy way to get these clips off. So sometimes you can get behind it with needle nose, squeeze it. Now we're going to have to pull this back enough to get access to a couple of things. And just like with everything Kia, 10 millimeters, going to be your socket size. So we're going to take these 2 out to get the window guide out, because it blocks us being able to get the lock mechanism out. reach in for the guide, pull that, and we're going to bring it down and angle it. It's a little bit of a curvature, so it should come right out. And then just remember your orientation for putting it back. Now that we've got that out of the way, we're ready to actually take our mechanism out. And we've got this electrical connector that's going to have to come off. This is actually our connector here. So these two clips are going to have to come off. This is on a clip that slides off. When you slide this, you're going to have to put a lot of pressure on it, and then you're going to rake your finger across the inside of this and scrape it up. So make sure you have gloves on. Ask me how I know. Yep, there it is. So having gloves on will save my hands. It just slides back onto this when you're done. All right, we got another one of these. There we go. It's a little tricky, but there is a release right there. All right, so now we've got our electrical loose. Now we've got to actually loosen it from this side, and we're going to use T30 hex. All right, the last step is this has some plastic blockers on it that keeps it from sliding. There's a tab right here. You just want to make sure that this is pushed in enough that it doesn't get blocked here. And then there's a tab right here. Same thing. You got to make sure that's pushed in. And then this has like a little spot in it right here where you can actually pry on it. And as long as you got your tabs loose, then that should come out. All right, now some of these doors have key locks on the outside. So this one has no key lock, so there's only one pin on the inside you have to deal with. A door like this that has a keyhole is going to have two pins that you have to release on the inside to get that lock mechanism out. All right, so if you can see in here, you'll see that yellow tab right there on the top of that bar. So all we have to do is pry that yellow tab to the right, and it will release that bar, and the bar will slide out. And then we can take this whole lock mechanism out. You've got a peephole right here where you can shine a light and see, and you just get behind that yellow piece of plastic and just pry it towards you. Worst case scenario, you can get a screwdriver, maybe a flathead, just get in there and pry it towards you, and it should pivot. Once you get it loose, you can pivot it up and out of the way. You can see that the little yellow tab is rotated up, and so now we should be able to pull that metal bar out of that hole, and it will release our entire lock mechanism. We're just going to reach in now that we got the yellow tab gone, and it should just pull right out of that hole, and it pulls out, and now we're completely loose. Getting this out of the hole is always fun. You got this rod, you're going to have to work around. Alright, so there's your entire lock mechanism. From what latches to the door latch itself, the rod that goes to the door handle that actually unlocks the door, and your door handle. So all we care about is this piece right here. So it's just one screw here, and then it kind of does a little slide on to this little metal piece. One screw is all it takes. Now you want to make note, when you take this off, this piece attaches to all this mechanism with a little wire that's right here, that's behind here, that you can't really see in this shot. Once you undo this from the screw on the back side, this is going to start sliding out, and you're going to have that little metal wire that you're going to have to kind of angle this to get it out. You want to observe how that's attached, because when you put the other one on, you need to put it back on the same way. Okay, one long screw. Again, this is just kind of slid onto here, so we're going to slide this back. You got this little piece inside this circular spot right here. That's part of the triggering mechanism for the lock. You see that? Okay, so we're going to start sliding this back a little bit. So this is also inserted right here, so you have to angle this down to kind of unlock it. So you now see how it's kind of moving out. You want to be careful, because here is your key. This goes in here, and here is your little wire. So you'll see right here. Can I pull that wire towards me? Nope, that's as far as it goes. So you want to keep this in mind. So this is how it is. So we rotate it clockwise. I keep my finger on it. So I'm going to rotate this counterclockwise to get this back on. Okay, so we're there. I forgot about this little white plastic right here, see how this rotates? So it moves on you. This is actually going to, you're going to need to insert this piece in between that. So there's like a little slot in there because when it moves, it's what moves your lock. So I've got that positioned. Get this part ready to go. Alright, so now I've got it started on the metal. I've got this inserted. I've got my wire on underneath. And I've got this black dongle right here. See this little piece right here? This piece right here has to be in the middle of the white plastic. And then lastly, I need to bring my black plastic from this back piece to where it goes right in there. So I've got this piece, this white piece lined up, my wire on, I've got this piece in, and the metal straddled by this plastic. So now my lock should work from the handle. Okay, so at least mechanically speaking, we're good. So as long as this is a good electrical piece, we put all this back together, it should work. We're gonna put our screw back in. So we're going on the back side towards the metal. Now what I would recommend is getting this plugged in and testing it before you go to all the trouble of getting everything put together. But I'd rather test at this stage than put the whole thing back together and then find out that's not going to work. Alright, we want to see if our lock moves. Oh, looky there. Lucky, lucky. That's what we like to see. Alright, so now obviously we've got to put it all back together. Alright, remember, we've got this rod that we got to get back up into the door handle. Our electrical will come out here. One thing to note is if your car has the external door lock, then there's going to be two wires you're going to be dealing with because one of them allows for key unlock. Alright, we want to feed this back. And you can use these as just kind of your guidelines as to where you need to go. Alright, so I'm about to get my pieces lined up here. And we can push forward. So now that's locked in place, so these should be pretty well lined up. We'll have to get our door handle rod inserted back into the hole. Okay, once you insert that back in the hole, don't forget to drop the yellow plastic clip back down on it to lock it. Okay, so that's on, so we now have our door handle. Now we just need to put our screws on the back end, and we're locked in place. Alright, and this just slides in, so we come back just a little bit to the left, find the holes, slide it forwards, and your screw hole should line up right here. This is the point where you put your window guide back on. If you forget, you're going to curse yourself after you put the whole panel on. So you do this now. Alright, electrical. Make sure the door works. Slide this back on. Alright, lock works, and the window guide works. So we got everything put back together. If you got value out of this, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Your likes and your subscribes helps my channel to grow, and I appreciate them very much. And I'll see you in the next video.